So I have a few more questions for you.
Yes.
Mediums. My first question is, can people be used as mediums and not know that they're being used as mediums?
So a medium is a person who, if you take the word medium, means that the person is being used as a go-between, an energetic go-between. And you have shows that have been on the air, such as the show Medium, where the person is able to talk or absorb the energy of somebody who is either not living or is in a different location. So a medium is somebody who has the ability to either communicate with the non-living or is able to communicate with somebody in another location. And another aspect of that is that they're able to what's called channel the energy of that person through their body. So in the show Medium, the woman who is based on an actual person who is a medium and is used by the government, is used by different police agencies who actually use psychics and mediums a lot more than people in the general public assume for use in detecting crimes or finding solving murders, solving crimes. And those mediums are people who can take an object or an individual's picture or be around where they've been and can pick up on the energy of that object, and through the touching of that object can receive visual images and locations as to where events have taken place and the thoughts that are attached to the energy of that object. So it's basically a type of psychic who is able to use another person's energy to determine what is happening with that energy. And there's different kinds of mediums. There's spiritual mediums who tend to be people who talk with people who are on the other side, people who are deceased, and be able to communicate with their spirit. That's what's called a psychic medium. There's a physical medium. A physical medium is somebody who can connect with either objects that somebody's owned. There's been programs where you see people, somebody's, like a child's gone missing, and they find the shirt of the child and they touch the shirt and they get a feel for that child's energy, and they get a visual image of what happened to the child, where they're located. And yes, that's very real and is actually happening. Governments hire mediums, police agencies hire mediums. It's actually more common than people would think to be used in trying to solve crimes and to help heal people. Another type of physical medium is somebody who can take the energy of another person, and you could say is aware of their energy field or is aware of their aura, and can actually run the energy of that person who they connect with spiritually, with their awareness, with their aura, and channel the energy through their body to find out what it is that person is thinking, feeling, or even doing at that moment. And there's a specific type of physical medium who can take the energy of, let's say, somebody who is diseased, and can channel the energy of the person who's diseased through their healthy body, and can try to exchange energies for the moment to help put fresh, clean, healthy energy into the diseased person's energy field. And it sounds way out there, it sounds like science fiction, it sounds crazy, but it's actually done a lot more often than people think. And then the medium is able to clean themselves off so that the disease doesn't stick to them, and can actually be used for healing. It's also being used in a new way, which is to channel drugs from a particular person's energy into another person, so that you can actually, instead of having to take a pill, instead of having to get a shot, you actually send a person's energy through another person, And the person who you started with has a certain chemical in them, and it's used to put that chemical into another person's body. It sounds crazy, sounds like science fiction. It's actually very cutting-edge medicine, and is also used by different government agencies and government programs and ops programs as a way to access the energy field of an individual for different purposes. So there's psychic mediums, there's physical mediums, and there's people who are more prone to being able to do this. They have an ability to be what's called having an open consciousness, where you're more aware of other people. Sometimes they're called empaths, where you're able to feel what's going on in another person easier than some other people. And it's a wonderful thing. And again, any type of healing can be used for good or bad. I mean, any type of ability can be used for good or bad purposes. So I can use being a medium to understand what's going on with another person easier by accessing their energy field and then being able to determine what's going on with them. And it could also be used for the negative. I could have a particular chemical in my body and try and send that into the energy field of somebody else's body. And I could do that for healing. Let's say it would help to balance somebody's structure by having a certain chemical introduced, like why people use pharmaceuticals. Or I could also use it for a negative purpose. I could try to take the chemical and run it into somebody's body who I want them to be affected by the chemical. And this is also the new kind of interrogation or brainwashing techniques that are being used. This is on the negative end of things, but it's also being used for positive healing impact. So that's what a medium is. It's a person who can channel energy from another being in another location and can use that energy through their energy field, through their structure, for a specific result. And that's what a medium is.
So not everybody can be a medium, correct?
People who tend to be mediums also tend to be more, they have access to being in an alpha state, which is the state between waking and dreaming, easier than other people. They are also tend to be able to, they tend to be more imaginative people. They're also more compassionate towards other people. They tend to be more compassionate. Their awareness of how another person feels tends to be a higher evolution than another person's. And it can actually also come from womb trauma. A medium can be developed from womb trauma. Let's say that a mother is pregnant with a baby, and let's say that they were in a car accident while they were pregnant, and the mother is going into the hospital to get a surgery. The baby, being the fetus, being in the womb, loving the mother, can pick up on what the mother is experiencing during that trauma and can actually develop a very heightened sense of compassion for, let's say, women in that situation. And a lot of times those type of people become healers, they become psychics, they become mediums, and are usually used to help people. And so that's what the main purpose of that is to find out what's happening with another person so you can help them.
So to be a medium would have a lot of responsibility to use that energy or that ability in a good way to help people.
Well, that's a good point. It's also subjective to what somebody considers to be doing good for another person. It depends on your perspective on life. Myself being a healer, I would tend to use that as a way to access knowledge about another person in order to help them, in order to assess what's going on with them and feel compassion for that so that I could access the right technique to use with them and help them evolve, help them grow.
With their permission.
Of course, with their permission.
Yeah.
Always with their permission. So that's basically what a medium is. And so thanks for watching this YouTube.
Thank you.